Council meeting will commence. Pledge allegiance to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No, we have to have it.
They would have took care of like
Meeting will be taken by Carly Cowan, the secretary, videoed by Michael Kunselman. Public comment at this time. Pastor Larry Edwards.
215 Market Street. I'd just like to again ask permission, as we have in the past, of distributing grocery bags for the collecting food and be the Monday before Thanksgiving, distributing the bags, and then I'm picking them up on December 5th, the following 2 weeks later. Okay? That's what it's about. Yes, sir.
Okay. I have no problem with that, Pastor.
Thank you. I don't want to take for granted.
As long as you don't take too many Oreos out of it.
Okay.
Cliff Neal, 119 Arthur Street. I'm asking if a proposal has been received from the Catania Fire or Police Department for coverage in West Catania. Has a proposal been received by West Catania Borough Council from the Catania Police Department and Council?
No. Not at this time, then.
Okay. So the budget will be approved with West Catania Police Officer wages in the budget for 2017.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Motion on the minutes. Councilperson, do you have the minutes in front of you?
I have one correction. That should be, first about,
Oh, he mentioned that, not you.
right.
Okay.
I need a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting. Motion by Paul Byer, seconded by... Somebody seconded the motion. Seconded by Robert Mesky.
The correction
All in
was,
favor? Motion passed.
the correction was to a correction to September's minutes where I thought it was the mayor that said the area up in Carter was to be trimmed. And here was to be sprayed, but here it was actually Councilperson Bauer that said it.
Oh,
Originally,
so,
yeah. Second.
That's all.
Yeah.
Committee reports, building committee, Ernie?
I have nothing.
Okay.
Mayor's report.
Oh, I'm sorry, thank you.
County Gagan, give me a report.
4th of October, the 26th trap to the base edition Monday morning. In lawn traffic, bad checks, retail theft. In the criminal offenses, DUI, possession of narcotics or paraphernalia, possession of intent to deliver, theft of property, board, and probably in nighttime, we're through the work rest that were done. No ordinance pending at this point in time. For the notice portion, there have been reports of several incidents of decoration items being taken from residential properties. Please be advised to watch the area. The holiday season is coming along, and with preparations and purchases for Christmas, please don't leave your packages in your vehicles and unattended.
Thank you.
I have a question. Give me an example of a decoration.
Some people's Halloween decorations were taken out of their yards or off porches, things of that nature.
Right.
Okay, this report that the West County Police Department has their taser, and we're in the process of trying to get Officer Airgood to the certification and the use of it. Also, ball bar. On the withholding or the holding bench, you had emailed me that they were supposed to start working on it this month. Can you give a report that the material was ordered?
That's correct. That's what was conveyed to me by the administrator down there, yes.
But does it have to be paid for before they make it, or?
No.
So it's going to be in the process of being made.
Yes.
All right, thank you. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you. Now we will go to committees. Bernie, you said you got nothing? Public Works?
Several things have been going on, mostly trying to wrap everything up for the end of the season. A lot of storm drains were done this year. Just the last one we did after the last month's meeting was on Carter Street. It was a long one, longer than we expected. The ground dimpled down there, so we knew we had a cave in. And that's why I had to bring in this piece of pipe. And this is what's left of the pipe that was down there where the dimple was. And I don't know if this is the exact word dimpled. But as we started digging it up, we found that as it kept on going, it was still collapsing. It was all collapsed. We replaced down there 230 foot of pipe. So we did a lot more this year than was expected, and probably what we discussed originally, because I had asked you about an extension, and at the time it was, let's go another $5,000. Well, believe me, we spent that $5,000. I really don't know what the total is, but I can tell you we did a lot of this, and we're going to be doing more next year. I talked to one of the guys down at PennDOT, and they said once it starts dropping, you're going to find that it's all reached its lifespan, and we're going to see more of this over the course of next year, and probably during the winter. Of course, as you know, we've been placing it with the black, smooth rubber type piping for longevity. So far this year, we've replaced 890 feet, 5 feet of drainage pipe. 10 existing catch basins were repaired. One was replaced. 290 foot of blacktop and berm for temporary repairs. The annual street paving project has been completed, and they've already started the winter snow maintenance prep and materials. That's in addition to the weekly and by day. They do the brush, leaves, trash, grass, mowing, tree trimming, which went through the board and all the streets and trimmed them up to 14 feet, which is the guideline used by PennDOT to get trucks through. And with our new saw, we've cut over 500 foot of pavement, and that has been just so advantageous to have that. The one that we were renting through the contractor had I think it was a 15-inch blade. Ours is a 20-inch blade, and it cut so much faster, and of course deeper, especially down in Carter, which not only did we have 3 inches of a blacktop, we also had 5 inches of cement down under that. So it's to our advantage. That's it.
All right, can I add to your report that we are looking into a estimate to do sewer line repair on Pine Hill, starting up at the top. Can't think of the name of the garage.
Stalls.
Huh?
Stalls.
Stalls Garage, and coming down probably about 400 feet down to the catch basin, down at,
Well, I was actually gonna do that under new business.
okay.
But that's okay, but it actually is a total of 1,000 feet.
Okay,
From the top of Stalls all the way down to Pine Hill, where the last water catch basin is, when you come around the turn before you come to the stop sign, which is at the end of the old
Cedric Road.
Cedric Road. Yeah, about another 200 feet down there.
Well, this is all in the offing for next year. We're putting it out for bids.
We're gonna get a hold of the Corps engineer and have them come up with the specifics on it so we can put it out for a bid, and we're shooting for a grant as well.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Because we can't afford to pay it.
Just so everybody knows, this is something large that we're going to be doing for next year, if we can get a grant.
Well, can liquid fuel monies be used for that infrastructure repair?
I don't know if we can use all of it, but we can use some of it if we're blacktopping, I think, in that area, and it has to be replaced. We've done that over on Harding, where we put the new sewer in and so forth. But since we're not going to be blacktopping that street, I don't know, we have to consult with PennDOT. Okay, Finance Committee,
Nothing,
nothing.
needing to get a chance to meet.
Hopefully we can meet before the final adoption.
All right. Personnel,
Nothing other than I want to have a quick executive session when we get to that, so real quick.
okay. Shade Tree Committee, Nance?
I'll make this short. I met last Monday with Mark Wilson. I know there's too much to tell. Anyways, last Monday, I met with Mark Wilson from West Penn Power and Forestry. We went over to Pine Hill. This was the first location. There are 2 trees that are there on the right side of the road, and they are like adjacent to Lincoln Street and across from the Pine Hill, old Pine Hill School. They are dead trees, and they are ash trees, and he said they are dead from that disease, that emerald ash borer is called, is what it's called. And so they are going to be removed. Second location we went to was off of Lincoln. We went down to Hill Avenue, and there are 2 trees down in there. And that's towards the highway as you go down over on the right-hand side. And property address right there is 111 Hill Avenue. And Mark said that they would notify the property owner in there that they would be removing those trees. And possibly they'll leave logs at that location, but he said they will have them removed. Okay. Third place was there are 2 trees off Woodland Avenue, which is on 137 Millbar Alley. And they are in the yard of the property owner. So Mark said that he would talk to that property owner also, that they would be working there, removing them. And he said that the West Cattan and East Franklin line is pretty much right in that area. So he was going to determine just exactly where that was at. But he'll take care of that also. And then Bob had mentioned to me previously that there was a big tree over on Harrison Street was obstructing the street light. So I asked Mark if he would take me over there, which he did. And it's at 115 Harrison Street and Pear Alley. It's right on that corner. It's a big tree overhanging Harrison Street that is way out over. And they will be topping that tree. But he said if we could get the property owners okay, he said they would go ahead and do some extra trimming there. And so I needed to know the name of the owners there were there. So I called Bobby, and by chance he was right in the neighborhood over there. So he stopped at the house, told them what we were doing, and their names are Bob, where are they? Sanders. Bob and Judy Sanders. And she was home. So he told her what the situation was, and she said, you can just do anything you want to with that tree. So that will be taken care of, besides being taught with their normal routine, you know, what they're going to be doing. He'll do some extra work there on that. Okay, and then I relayed all that information to Mark by voicemail after I got home, and I talked with Bobby, and then I relayed it to Mark. So he knows what the situation is with that Sanders tree.
All right.
Okay, I think that's it.
Thank you.
He's from West Penn Power.
Mark's, yes, Wilson is, he's the forester.
Okay.
And you know, actually, we still call it West Penn Power, but they're owned by First Energy.
You first. Okay.
Okay. that's
Nancy,
another-
Nancy, are they going to the borough, the whole borough, or is it just a certain section?
On the right-hand side, where there's any wires, they will be going through the whole borough. And they're not permitted to round off trees. That's not in their instructions or policy, whatever. But they will either weed them or, you know, somehow get them out of the wires.
Okay.
He said people complain that they just don't look very nice at times, but he said we do the very best we can. So that's my report.
Thank you, Jim. Police report?
Nothing.
Nothing. Nikki's not here for Crime Watch? Oh, Clyde?
Mickey can't make it tonight, but the newsletters have all been passed out. And if somebody didn't get one, we have some, the border workers have some, and the police department has some. And the next Crime Watch meeting is next Tuesday, November 15th at 7 p.m. at the border. That's all she did.
Did a good job, Clyde.
Okay. At this time, we're going to go into executive session at 6:45. Unfinished business?
I brought two ordinance, examples of ordinance for, I lost track of what I was going to say. Blight. Is council going to do anything on that? Bob, you brought an ordinance for,
Yeah, I'll kind of approach the solicitor on that, under new business, actually old business, I guess. You want to comment on it? Is it okay for him to comment on that?
yeah.
Is there any way that you and I, since you presented that to me, you and I could get together and talk? As far as the different, I think there were 3 different ordinances. They're a little different as far as the detail goes on all of them. I don't know how in-depth you're looking to be, or what type of specifications that you're wanting. Before, I don't know how detailed you want to be.
Okay. You want lunch?
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Tell me what.
I walk into the school with cafeteria service.
Hey, anytime you want to meet,
Yeah.
morning, afternoon, evening, we can come here.
Okay.
Or your office, where's your office?
Yeah, right on McCain Street.
Okay. I mean, if you want to, I can be down there, so you have everything there you need.
Yeah.
And
That'd be
I
fine.
think we only need about a half hour. So I'm pretty much available during the day.
I mean, I wrote down some ideas that I have, but I don't think you need, that one was like 20 pages thick, and I don't think that that's what you're looking for.
I think we're looking for generality under the portion of particularly paving and keeping the level down to the level that it was found without building on top of it.
Gotcha.
Okay, just give me a call.
Sounds good.
Is that also with the blighted properties?
What's that? I mean, I reviewed that, it's not up to me whether anyone wants to move forward with it.
Mr. President, what about council, how they feel on it?
Anybody read it?
Do we have a blight problem?
Blighting, bad.
Yes, Mr. Toy's been coming in here for not know how many meetings, we have nothing to solve the problem.
Yeah, Jim, I know you did the webinar, I think, on that.
Right.
Who, in that program, who determines that the structure or the property is in blight? Who determines that?
Code inspecting officer.
That should be up to the solicitor to answer that.
Monopoly forms.
I mean, if you ride through town, you see buildings that are getting in poor shape. There's cars that are junked, sitting in yards.
Should we have an ordinance for junk cars? Do we have an
There is
ordinance?
one.
There is one junk cars.
Which I agree with you, they're in the borough, I know they are.
It's an enforcement officer.
But I asked Officer Gagan to enforce it, and he says he can't because it's,
Yeah.
We don't have a code.
he'll have to answer to that. Why can't you enforce it?
We did the portions of all the things that were, according to the ordinance on public streets. Private property, we came to the private property issue, which we discussed with the solicitor. We have the portion of it that comes to how do you do anything with a situation where you have to enter somebody else's property whenever they have rights and privileges. That, and the ordinance there currently doesn't address that portion of it.
I just brought up because Mr. Toy from the roofing plant's been coming meeting after meeting complaining about the same issue, but nothing's being done for him. I figured this ordinance here will give us some teeth.
We don't have an officer.
I think we did use it, I don't remember if that was a year or two ago, the junk car. There was a car, it was on like a double lot, it was obviously on a neighboring property, was looking out the window, and that's what they got to see beside them. But I used that ordinance and
That was the
I
one,
went to them,
that's
and
one of
they
those first
did.
lane property.
The issue is the person was leasing the property, had to send a letter to the actual owner of the property, and he took care of it. Is that?
That was the
Is
one
that
that
right?
eventually went into default and then.
Yeah.
But that's
But as far as this goes, it says that an enforcement officer in here.
or a police officer.
Yeah, I mean, you'd change it, that would be up to you, or unless you wanted to appoint
But
someone.
unless a resident complains about another resident, nothing's being done, and it's getting worse.
Well, if you talk about an enforcement agency, is the Bureau of Veritas, are they an enforcement agency?
No,
No.
Building permits.
building permits and building inspection, that's all.
You know,
New construction,
But if something isn't up to code,
they can't touch it.
all right.
That's it.
I'm playing the devil's advocate here.
Yeah, well, I got that whole book is about an inch and a half thick.
We have, in our area, someone deposited a car, and it's not runnable.
I think there's one just up the street from you in the
Let
yard.
me ask you a question. If that ordinance is passed, instead of enforcement officer, police officer, then that gives him the right, then he can go on private property?
Well, I mean, a lot of this stuff is just, you see it from the street, I mean, it's property that's falling down.
We have to
So basically, that's about all.
Yeah, I mean, it addresses different stuff, and then basically every part of a house that's, I mean, if anything needs repair, I mean, if you went through this, it literally lists anything, if someone has a gutter hanging off of their house, you can use
Well,
this
and
to.
that's the only thing that concerns me is, how far did we get carried away with this? The mayor's absolutely right on the house, and Mr. Troy's next door neighbor. That's blight in my eyes, and it should be taken care of. But I don't want it to be so finite that somebody has something, maybe it's not affordable, but still it's not up to our standards, but it might be to somebody else's standards. I don't want to get carried away with an ordinance that makes it so stringent because people can't afford to live here.
But there's people here that really take care of the property, and it's coming to a point where we're getting a lot of rentals, absentee landlords, and they're not taking care of their property. It's bringing the person that tries to keep his property up and neat, the value is going down.
I agree.
And if we don't stop it, it's just going to get worse.
What about abandoned property? Is that falling into blight?
I mean, depending on
Because you look at
if it's abandoned, if it's abandoned, and what if it's in pristine condition and there's just no one?
Well, then we went file a complaint.
Yeah.
This
I mean, if it's
property-
abandoned, it's likely to fall under this because it's probably going to be in disrepair in some way. I mean, literally this, if you read this, it covers everything. As far, I mean, it even touches on.
Where'd that one come from in particular? That came off
This was one.
that came off the webinar.
And again, I mean, it can be tweaked, but I mean, you need to go through it and see exactly how stringent you would want to be.
Well, I think this goes back to the other ordinance. We go through it, how stringent do we want to be?
Yeah. If this is another one, I don't know if anybody wants to make.
Well, it's something maybe something the mayor would want to sit down with you and go through it.
I know the last meeting, it was in the newspaper, I had somebody come to my house complaining about the neighbors. They're taking care of their house, they're keeping it up and looking nice, but the neighbors don't care, and it's shabby.
I don't know how everybody else feels, but when I hear blight property, I think something with broken windows or gutters hanging down or the siding or the shingles falling off the house or the porch has a slope to it because structurally it's losing its ability, the wood's rotted. I don't look at it as somebody because they didn't paint their house or because they couldn't afford to. So I don't know, it all depends how you look at blight.
We're gonna have to sit down and go over it, figure out how
If you
how stringent we want it. And I agree with you, is
you go down this
not
hill
everybody
here,
can afford to fix everything up all at once.
you go down this here, by the fire hall, there's a rug here, the roof is rotted away.
That would be a dangerous structure
Where's this, Jim?
then. So could that
Down
fall
there.
under that?
Almost to the fire hall. I don't want to mention names.
Is it the one that was just tore down?
Could that be a dangerous structure?
On Cleveland Street.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and Nancy just made a good point. If in that case, does that fall under something on law enforcement, that it's a dangerous structure that could be a danger to the
Here
kids?
again, I went to Officer Hagan, he says he can't do nothing about it.
We're, our portion of it, we need to have some kind of definition that, for law to say, what's a, dilapidated or dangerous structure, so someone's gonna have to be able to be qualified to come in and give testimony in court that this is a dangerous structure. We're not certified to do any of that portion of it, so, who do we get to do that?
Yeah, we don't have a building inspector here, like the Contamin has a part-time one now, again.
The question we asked before, and what the mayor brought up, that property over there on Harding Street that's landlocked from, the portion of it is behind. So we don't have public view of anything that's going on there, and so how do we address it one on the private private property to check out things. I mean, we're not allowed to be just traipsing through everybody's backyard looking to see if we can find a violation, because they have a right to privacy also. We're an official law enforcement agency, so therefore we need to have specific right or reason to be on that location. That's what he was asking, I believe, about that portion of the ordinance that about light. How do we able to do the things that we need to do? Is it addressed in that, or is it still the same consideration of right to privacy?
Well, question on that, solicitor would be, if that's true and they can't, then what allows someone like the assessment officer to walk anywhere on the property to take pictures on a county assessment? What allows that?
I mean, I guess you
Because I
have.
believe you're now the county solicitor,
Yeah,
correct?
but I mean, in that case, I mean, obviously you have to pay taxes. That's what your taxes are based off, or the assessed amounts. I mean, a lot of the times the problem is that people make additions to their homes, especially out in the country. Even though you're supposed to advise them of that, they have no other way of ensuring that you're being taxed correctly. I mean, the only way to do it is to obviously fly over the properties, which you are allowed to do in that case. So, I don't know, I mean, if you want me to look into this further, I mean, I feel like a lot of this, some things recorded, people have pictures of it and things like that. I mean, you can get around it that way. I mean, I feel like it doesn't even need to be observed firsthand a lot of the time. I just feel like this particular ordinance, I mean, you just looked at it, bring up what you just said. I mean, you said you could go to any house and
Glazing, cracking and glazing. Well, you could probably go to any house, glazing is caulking around windows. I mean, you could probably go almost any house in West Virginia.
Violation.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a violation.
Yeah, it's a violation.
So,
It's gonna take more discussion in here tonight, obviously.
you and I, we'll be meeting anyway, so if anybody else would want to join in, I just feel like you need to bounce ideas off one another as far as this goes.
Well, Mayor, if he calls David out, you want to go? Yeah. Okay.
Okay. New business then, or what? Nothing else under old? Okay, new business. Okay, proposed 217 general fund operating budget.
Well, I made copies for the public, so the proposed operating budget for 2017 for both the general fund and the liquid fuels fund. And pretty much everything, I mean, nothing has changed very drastically. The insurances increased slightly from the previous year. I would say on average like a 2% increase in all the insurances. I did include a 3% salary increase for the employees, and I just used an average of hours that the street department and the police department had been working in 2016, carried forward into 2017. Council members have more detail of the breakdown of expenses, and also the breakdown of how the revenues were calculated, which is mostly based on average trends. I did get a preliminary figure of our certified assessed real estate value from the tax claim department to use for 2017. So that's pretty much the gist of it. Like I said, it's not nothing, strikingly different from 2016. Of course, some of the costs are going up, like
Yeah, fuel.
What's the LST?
Local services tax, it's where everybody pays $52 a year, you get like $2 per gallon pay.
Thank you.
So I guess the next step, well, would be, to advertise the preliminary. It must be available for inspection for at least 10 calendar days before adoption. It must be advertised once in a newspaper of general circulation in the borough. So, I mean, I can go ahead and advertise it, and then we can,
I think
I can meet with the finance committee and make any changes.
I'd say go ahead and get it advertised. So we don't shortfall ourselves.
Do we have a motion to advertise first?
All right, we'll lead away motion by Bob Byer to advertise the budget for 2017. Second by Bob Dismissky. All in favor? Unanimously approved. Pricing proposal for the new copier, printer, and scanner.
Okay, this is something we talked about a couple meetings ago. The copier that's in my office, it's used by the street department as well, is very old and inefficient, and like the feeder doesn't even work anymore, and it doesn't do like two-sided pages. And we're currently paying like an average of $61 a month for the base charge, plus, you know, almost 2 cents per print. And I got some quotes from Xerox, and we were able to take advantage of the state contract pricing, because we're, you know, municipal government. So he gave me a few different prices, but for a model that's similar to what we have, but that also scans, I got a price of, this one here is $42.35 a month, plus like 0.9 cents per print. Well, 0.009 cents per print. The other one's $45.54 a month with a per print rate of 0.0124. The only difference is the one that's a little bit more expensive has a fax capability, which we don't currently have. The police department has a fax, number of fax.
But you can't get in to use it all the time, if you need to.
Right, but that hasn't been a problem thus far, but the one that's a few dollars more a month would have the capability to have a fax machine also. In addition to scan, print, copy.
How much is that one a month?
That one's $45.54 a month. And the prints are 0.0124 cents. The other one was $42.35 a month, and the prints are 0.009. Right now, the one we have is, I mean, we had leased it for 60 months, and it's just on a month-to-month basis now because the lease was up. So this new one would be another 60-month lease.
There'd be a difference of $20 in monthly fees
Yeah.
on either one of them.
And it would be so much more
Efficient,
yeah.
the one with the fax machine and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
You can use that more than, say, A to B.
Yeah, I think it would be good to be able to have fax.
Because everything now, you can't talk to anybody on the phone, it's either fax or email
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah,
So-
the scanning piece is very helpful.
Anybody,
And they'll just take away the old one, the old
Yeah.
junk one too, which is nice.
Mr. President, does that include maintenance
It does.
and
It is-
service on those monthly charges
Yes.
for the term of the contract?
All on-site service, parts, labor, and supplies to operate SUP paper. It includes delivery, installation, training, and complete analyst setup as well.
Thank you.
Does it have an opt-out?
the 60 months, the term of the,
Oh, 16, okay, well,
yeah,
60
for
months.
the length of the
5
lease.
years. We ought to have an opt-out in here to make sure that they don't automatically renew without our permission. We're gonna have at least a 30, 45 day opt-out.
So which one do you council go with, the one with the fax machine and everything?
I believe so.
I think we need a fax machine. We can make a motion on that, and then she can go ahead and find out the opt-out like you were talking.
Yeah, I'll talk to, like this guy, I work with this guy at the county too, Ray Blakeney. So he's pretty easy to work with.
Today's world, it's a necessity.
I'll make the motion for the.
I'll second.
Motion by Bernie, second by Bobby. Bauer. Looking to bring copier with the option of an opt-out and so forth.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimously approved.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's all we have on the new business. Motion to pay the bills. Few pages of the bills somewhere. Anybody have any questions on the bills? Need a motion to go ahead and pay these bills.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Bernie Bowser, seconded by Nancy Bowden, to pay the submitted bill. All in favor? Unanimously approved. Yeah, we're gonna do that right now, but. Okay, we received a letter from Mr. James Ternand, who is presently the president of the Sewage Authority. His term expires in January. He had submitted a letter to be reinstated in that position. Mr. Ternand is a resident of the borough and intends to be here until, like he said the other day, until he passes. He's done a marvelous job on that Sewage Authority. I was on that board when I lived in North Buffalo for 15 years. He was then. He has been on president for the last 35 years that I know of.
I make the motion.
Motion by Eddie Morse to appoint Mr. James Ternand to.
I know you weren't done, but I know
Well,
good.
yeah, he's done an excellent job. He just went over other new renovations with me here on Sunday, which they're spending like about $4 million to upgrade the Sewage Authority because they have expanded in such a large area. But I need a second on Eddie Morse's. You seconded it? It's seconded by Bob Vitsnesky. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. No other letters to be read from the correspondence? Okay, motion for adjournment? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I guess call this good and welfare, and Mr. President, I talked to you, if I could just say a few
Go ahead.
words. Council member Paula Henry, not with us here this evening, she's in Atlanta, Georgia. As most of you may be aware, her son was gravely injured in an accident at work. treated at our hospital in Katanning, and was flown to Pittsburgh with a multiple fractures of his neck down to his upper spine. He had an operation in Pittsburgh, lasted 8 hours, and he has a rod from his middle of his neck down to the middle of his back. He was transferred to Shepherd's Hospital, Shepherd's Rehab Clinic, which is a spinal clinic in Atlanta, Georgia, by private plant, where he is down there now. They put a trach in and he's on a breathing machine. His prognosis is questionable, but he's doing fair. I talked to Paula, and I got most of my information initially from Nancy, who's good friends with Paula, and filled me in, and since then I've talked to Paula. They are already making preparations at home to bring him home, and are doing work and building a handicap accessibility for their house, and of course revamping the first floor of the house to accommodate him when he is discharged. They have initially, his employer set up a GoFund account which generated a cash flow for them to allow him to fly down to Atlanta and some extra money for the family to take care of themselves down there, but that money is thinning out. They are going to start a GoFundMe account on Facebook, and I don't know the name of it yet. I don't know. If you look under Billy Henry, you'll probably be able to find it, or Paul S. Henry, or Fred Henry. You may be able to find it. I don't know as I sit here today. He's a 23-year-old, also has a brain injury. A lot of things are being done in the community, including the shirts that Carly, myself, and Nancy is wearing. They're on sale at Total Fitness for $10, which $4 goes back to the family. So if anybody's interested.
Where's Total Fitness?
Total Fitness.
Right beside Walmart.
Okay, all right.
So, certainly, I think everybody that knows the family's in our prayers, and hopefully the best. But I think the family needs a lot of personal assurances that we're all fighting for her family and her son. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. I almost forgot it. Okay. Like you said, we do have a resident who's seriously injured, and all. Time to offering them our condolences and speedy recovery, which we know is going to take a long time for them. So, all right, at this time I want a motion to adjournment. Motion by Eddie Morris, seconded by Bernie Bowser. 7:28. We adjourn. All in favor?